Welcome to my podcast. I'm James Gorey, contributor to the Epic Times. That's probably where you got here from, or maybe from Epic Times to the Banana Republican to here. Anyway, welcome. Glad to have you here. Today I want to talk about this time. I want to talk about all those kids in California, where I'm from. All those kids in California, those illegal kids, those minors, thousands of them working in pot plants, pot farms, so slave labor basically, child slave labor, run by illegal aliens in California, in Camarillo, right? And I know Camarillo pretty well. I went to UC Santa Barbara. I've been there back and forth many, many times. But the bottom line here is that if you're on the left, then a little honesty, a little intellectual honesty, you got to have some here, and that's this. Remember the kids in cages at the border that were originally Obama's, but that footage was used to condemn Trump, and everybody condemned Trump for putting kids in cages, et cetera, et cetera. It turned out to be not the case. But if you're worried about kids, you're worried about child labor laws, you're worried about the well-being of kids being, this is literally a trafficking operation into illegally owned pot farms, running kids to the border with no parents. Who's taking care of these kids? If you're on the left, particularly, you got to ask yourself, if you're okay with this, I would suggest you take a deep, dark look inside yourself and go, what do I really value here? Is it politics or is it the welfare of these kids? Because I think the welfare of these kids, this is not a left or right issue. This is an issue of kids thousands being trafficked up the border and then taken into different places to do what's virtually slave labor, child labor. And we're better than that. This country isn't about child labor. It's not about slave labor. It's not about trafficking kids. So the reason I bring this up because I hear people on the left in the media going after the ICE agents that are disrupting these operations and condemning their behavior, condemning them being there, condemning the fact that many of them are masked. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, wait, look over here at the ICE behavior and not looking at the elephant in the room, which is thousands of underage kids, children, being trafficked for working in illegal pot farms that are run by illegal aliens. You can't make this up. That's how bad it is. When you import or you allow 10 or 20 million illegals into the country in a matter of 4 years, why wouldn't this happen? So I think I would speak to my friends who are on the left at some point, and I'm not seeing a lot of it. I'm not seeing a lot of condemnation, but at some point you got to look and say, no, that's not right. That's not good. That's not moral. That's not what this country's about. And you ought to be thanking the Trump administration in this instance for rescuing those kids. Why are 10,000 kids or 300,000 kids? I hear different numbers. It's very difficult to get a number that you can say that's it. But there's tens of thousands, minimal, that kids have gone into this country, been trafficked, doing probably a lot worse things than working on a pot farm in Camarillo. So let's be brutally honest. If you're on the left and you're okay with this isn't bothering you to your core, you have a values problem. You do. This isn't about politics, left, right, red, blue, conservative, liberal. This is about children that shouldn't be trafficked like this. Who knows how they were treated on the way up through Mexico and how they're being treated now. That should bother you. It bothers me. And yet I'm not seeing a hell of a lot of complaining about it from the left. I'm seeing a lot of complaining about ICE, but not a lot of complaining about thousands, tens of thousands, and probably hundreds of thousands of kids being trafficked into doing work that they ought not to be doing. That's probably threatening their livelihood, their lives, and not seeing their families, and it's horrendous conditions. A lot of this is going on, and this needs to stop. And if so, this is a message basically to the left, people who hate Trump. You can hate Trump all you want. I don't agree with him on everything, but I think he's better, a hell of a lot better than what we had. I think he's the best president we could have at this point in time to do what needs to be done. And I support him, even though I don't agree with him on some things. But who does? I mean, if you agree on everything your president's doing, then you're not really, I mean, are you really thinking, right? Are you just a knee-jerk lefty or knee-jerk righty? I mean, there are those, and they're fine, but I'm not one of them. But I am one to say that I agree with this policy of going after these illegal operations, these child trafficking operations, and it bothers me to my core that the prior administration allowed this to happen. We as America allowed this to happen and probably facilitated it to happen. And that bothers me tremendously. That's not the country we are, or we should be. We were that country under Joe Biden. So as a person on the left, you got to face those realities. You got to face those realities. The Biden administration enabled, allowed, encouraged, facilitated all of those things. Human trafficking, child trafficking into this country from all over for years. And that was the policy. And this is what we're seeing as a result of it. And there's no denying that. Forget about ICE for the moment. There's no denying that that's what happened. And that needs to be acknowledged, condemned, and corrected. And kids matter. So if you care about kids, this is one area that we should be all united on. So that's my thoughts on that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm James Gorey. Thanks so much for checking out my podcast and my YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.